Hi everyone, my name is Femi Aishiro, and the goal of this video is to help us understand Flexbox. And so I've built three projects to help us understand Flexbox, and this is the first project we are going to be building. Okay, so this is just like a popular image collection. So I believe that this project will help us to understand Flexbox. Okay, so this is the first project we're going to be building. It's our understanding and knowledge of Flexbox. Then after this project, we move to the second project. So this is just uh, like a small mini website, and we have the navbar, we have the hero session, and then we have some card session here, like a blog. So when we check responsive, very responsive design. So I want to let us know that everything here is done using Flexbox. Everything done on this page, the navbar, the navigation, the hero page, the card section, everything is done using Flexbox. The same thing applies to this, the card, the images, every section here. What I've used is Flexbox. And then so the third project is this. This is the third project we are going to be building. Okay, so all the change responsiveness and everything. So this project, everything is done using Flexbox. So but before we start moving into this project, so we are going to look at Flex for some minutes to understand some concept about Flex and why Flexbox. So I think it's very important to understand that. So now, so when we talk about CSS, we talk about layout. When you are building a website, when you want to see, the goal of CSS is to styling. So and it's very important to know how to position items on our web page. So understanding how to position items is made easy using Flexbox. So there are two concepts that helps with laying out on our web page. You know, we can achieve layout properly on our web page using Flexbox and Grid. So, but today our focus today is going to be on Flexbox, understanding Flexbox, and then we move into this project to see the practical application of Flexbox in this project. I believe that after learning the theories, after learning the terminologies that has to do with Flexbox, it's also important to apply our knowledge. So this project is going to help us to apply the things we are going to learn, you know, and see how to build this. Okay, and from this, then we move to this, and we move to this. So why Flexbox? What is Flex? So those are some of the questions I'm going to just give an answer to shortly. So Flex is for layout. In CSS, we need to position items. So we need to position things on our web page, and it is very important to use the right things. So Flexbox makes it easy to position items on our web page. That's the first thing. Then second very important thing is to understand that there's no way you are going to work, you are going to be a front-end developer, you are going to design an application on the front end or website that you are not going to need Flexbox. Flexbox really make things so easy for us to do on the web page. Then the second thing is that I really want to emphasize on is Flexbox is one-dimensional. You know, we call it a one-dimensional model. It means that we can only have Flexbox in one direction at a time. Okay, so it's either we have it on the horizontally. By default, Flex comes horizontally, or we have it on the vertical direction. So that is how Flex operates. Okay, so we can have it in two directions, unlike Grid that you can have it in two dimensional. It's not. It's either you have it on one direction, you can only have Flex on one direction. So that's how it works. So without wasting time, let's write some code. So like you can see, I have written this at the project, but I'm going to create another file now. Let me just create another file. Let's bring this here. Just create another folder for our work. Okay, so this is what we have. Let's, let's rename it. I'm going to call it Flex Boss class. So I'm going to open our IDE. So I have I have a new folder created here. So we are just going to look at Flex. So the goal of this session is to show us Flex, the inner working of Flex. So we are going to look at the Flex container, and then we are going to look at the Flex items. So we are going to look at the Flex container properties and the Flex items properties. So I've created this document to help us understand this very well. So this is what we are going to be looking at now. So we have the Flex container properties, where we look at justify content, Flex direction, Flex wrap, Flex flow, Flex items, and align content. Okay, so we are going to be looking at this. These are the properties that we are going to focus on. I have a good understanding of this. And then we now move to the Flex children properties or Flex items properties. So the picture in our mind is to see Flex container has the properties, and then the children of a Flex, the Flex items too also have properties. So these are things that we're going to look at in great details. And after which we are done, then we can now go to apply our knowledge to do a project. So that's how we are going to that's good that's how we are going to approach this. Okay, so let's go to our project. So I have my IDE open here. I'm using the Visual Studio Code, and I have an extension here which is live server. With this I can serve. So I have an extension called live server. Okay, so pretty good. I'll be using it in this to serve our HTML on our web page. So I have a folder here. So I'm just going to create some files. So we have index.html, and then I'm going to be putting the code on Git, so we can check the description below for the code. I have styles.css. Okay, alright, so sorry. Yes. So these are HTML. So I'm just going to bring my style to the left here. Let's have it this way. So I'm going to collapse this, and let's link our style to our HTML. So I have styles.css. So this is what we have, and so I'm just going to check my CSS if everything is working properly. Let's have our background color to be blue. So with my live server extension, I can open with my live server. Let's open with the live server. So everything is working fine. So I'm just going to go back to my code and just comment this out now. So the first thing is, main mention that we are going to start with having our Flex container. So we are going to start with understanding the Flex container. As the first thing we are going to bring this out. Going to have it on a separate tab. Okay, so you can call it whatever name that you want. Just have to make sure that this is the parent. Okay, so we are going to do, let's call it flex container. You can give it any name that you want. So this is what we have. So we have a div giving a class of flex container. That is what we have on this div. So this is a flex container. A flex container is, I'm going to set in a display on that class to flex. So and that makes it a flex container. So that flex container has properties that we can use. So those properties applies to the children. So I'm just going to create items. Let's have about 5 divs. So we have 5 divs for the items. So we have 5 divs. Okay, so if we check our browser now, I'm sure we are not going to have anything. So we are just having them stack on, on each other here. So to start with, we are just going to do dot flex container. So we are going to do set display, setting the display to flex. That's the first thing to do. So this is flex container, and the flex container has flex items. Okay, so on the flex container now, which is the parent class, is where we are setting the display to flex. What we are saying is that everything here now, it is like declaring a place, a region to name it to a flex, to name it to something. Okay, so setting the display to flex help us to be able to give us access to flex properties. So you have to set the display to flex in order to have access to the flex properties. Without setting the display to flex, the flex properties will not work. So it is very important, and it has to be on the parent. It has to be on the parent tag. That is where you set the display to flex. Okay, so when we check our browser now, what do we have? Let me bring it here. I'll just take care of this. Seems that I'm having two stuff here. So we have it side by side. What I'm going to do is to give it some height. Items. Let's have some height here. Have it 100 pixel. Width, she wants 100 pixels as well. Let's give it a border. Let's give it a border of 3 pixel solid red. And this border is a shortcut for border styles, which is solid, border width, it should be 3 pixels, and then border color, which is red. So if I comment this out now, this is what we have. Okay, so these are our flex items 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so rather than writing this properties, 3 properties and value, this is shorthand for the 3 properties. So if I comment this out now, see that the same properties applies. Okay, so now, so our focus is on the flex container, and in the flex container we are going to be looking at 6 properties of flex container. So, and the first one that we are going to be looking at is justify content. Okay, so these are the 6 properties that we are going to be looking at today. We have the justify content, flex direction, flex wrap, flex flow, align items, and align content. So these are the 6 properties that applies to flex that we are going to be looking at today. So The first thing we are going to do is to look at justify content. So we are going to do justify content, and for justify content as a properties has about 6 values. So our justify content these are the 6 properties that applies to justify content. We have the space between, space around, space evenly, center, and flex end and flex start. So by default it starts with flex start. So when you say justify content, you don't do flex start because that's the default. That's default position. But we can do center like this. You can see that the flex items is now at the center now. So you can also do flex end like this. It goes to the end. So these are values that works with justify content, and we can do space between. We have space between. This is what we have now. So this creates equal spaces between the items, between the children. So I don't want us to forget that all these properties applies to the parents. So we are setting on the parents. The parent class is what we are having these properties, not on the items. Okay, and then we can have space around like this, and this is what we have. So we have equal spaces between the items, and then we have a little space at the end of the first items and the last items on the page. Then we have space evenly like this. So this is what we have, and then we have this creates equal spaces. So these are 6 properties that works with flex. The 6 properties are space between, space around, space evenly, center, flex end, and flex start. Okay, so with this we can do everything that we want to do. And if I bring it to the center like this, and I need some spaces in between the items, I can use gap. You can use 10 pixel to have some gaps. So we have some gaps in between the items. I believe that the project we are going to do after this short introduction to flex will help us to see the practical application of flex. Okay, where we are going to be working on navbar, and we are going to see how to do that using flexbox. Okay, all right. So the second properties we are going to be looking at is flex direction. So I'm just going to comment this out now, and so we are going to be looking at flex direction. So flex direction, like I said, flex is one dimensional model, which it is designed to go in one direction only. So you can't have flex in 2 directions. Okay, see that you have it horizontally or vertically. So by default, flex is horizontal, like it comes like this. It comes with the items side by side. The items comes to sit right next to each other. That is how flex works by default. So by default it is in rows. Okay, so the flex direction is meant to change directions. Okay, so we used to change direction, so you can set this one to column, and it comes this way. Okay, so the direction has changed, and there are times that you're working on a page, maybe you're building a side nav, so you need items to just be in this position. So you can decide to change the position of the direction of the flex using column, and then you can also change it back. You can, times you're working on responsiveness, you can change back to row, and we have it here. But this is the default position. Okay, so you don't have to put flex direction to row, because flex automatically setting the display to flex automatically set the direction to be in row. So I can comment this out, and I still have this as my result. Okay, so so let's say we have column, we can have a row reverse. I'm just going to set, let me set a font size here. font size to 64 pixels. So what can we see now? We are seeing it reversed. So the role is reversed now. So one now is the first now on starting from the left, from the right now. So it has reversed it. Okay, and then we have column reverse as well. Column reverse. Okay, so this is what we have. So with the flex directions, we have the row, we have the column reverse, and what? Row reverse. So the next properties that we are going to be looking at is flex wrap. Okay, flex wrap is very interesting as well. So we are going to set the flex wrap to, we have to, by default it is no wrap. This is what we have by default. So I'm just going to increase this. Let me increase this. Let's add some more to this. 7, 8. So I'm going to make this width to be 300 and 300. So this is what we have. This is too much. Let's make the height to be 200. So this is what we have currently on our page. So I'm going to inspect this page. Inspecting this page, we can see the whole thing is squashed, like squeeze. So imagine you are having content inside this page, so everything is not going to be readable, which is going to be poor design. Okay, so and the page is overflowing as well. So in order to deal with this situation, so what we can do is to set. So by default, I mean, it's not wrap. The flex items is not wrapping. Okay, so we are going to see what it means to wrap shortly. So by default, this is what we have. The page is overflowing and the contents are shrinking and all of that. So in order to do this, so what we are going to do is to set the flex wrap to wrap like this. So this is what we have. So what this means is, let's just start from the beginning. As we can see that some of the content here has moved to the next line. Why? Because the display now is we are using a flex wrap now to set to wrap. So you can see now, and this is nice because it makes our work responsive, and the width and the shape of our item is preserved when we set the display to wrap. Very important to take note. There are times, as a developer that you're working, you want to make sure that your work is responsive. I mean, it looks good on mobile as well as on the web. So another way to achieve responsiveness in a very quick way is to use flex wrap. Okay, so the shape, the content, the image, whatever we are using, it is preserved. Okay, all right, so that is flex wrap, and then we can have a row wrap. These are some of the properties. Okay, we can have wrap reverse. That's what I want to write. Wrap reverse like this. So you can see that the numbering has changed now. Okay, so we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is what we have now. So from the back, that is what we have, and we can see having 8 from the last to the first. So we are commenting this out now. So we've looked at how many properties have we looked at now? We've looked at justify content, flex direction, flex wrap. So the next properties that we're going to be checking out today is flex flow. Flex flow is such an interesting properties. So for flex flow is a shorthand for flex direction and flex wrap. So that's it. Is a shorthand. I think I wrote something down here. Flex flow is a shorthand for what? Flex direction and flex wrap. So if you want to use flex direction, let's say for instance, okay, so let me just comment this. Okay, just I'm just going to comment this. So let's say we have a column wrap, or let's say, yeah. So we have a column wrap reverse, column wrap reverse. So this is what we have. Okay, so you're having it at the other end because this is column wrap reverse. Why is it here? It's here because it's reverse. Okay, this is reverse. Let's just reverse, column reverse. So this is column reverse. Okay, so everything works fine. Wrap reverse, so comes here. So it works together. So what I'm going to do now is to set this to row. So this is still flex direction and flex wrap. So let's try and make this responsive. You can see it's responsive now. So this is what we have. So I'm going to bring in our flex flow now. So in our flex flow, we're going to set this to row wrap reverse. So let's take these two out. So you're having the same thing, trying to refresh now. You're having the same thing, so nothing has changed. So the shorthand for both property is flex flow. So with flex flow, you can have, instead of writing these two values, these properties and values, you can put the two together using flex flow. So you can also have column reverse. So let me change this one to column. Now, so the same thing. Okay, this column on the other side. So you have column on the other side. So that is that. So we can just practice and see how this thing works. Okay, so the next thing we are going to be looking at is align items. So align items, this is a 51. Align items is very interesting as well. Align items. So for align items, the default is flex start. So I'm going to be using align items with justify content as well. Flex start. So these are defaults. You don't need to specify this. It comes default. It's a default flex positions. So this is what we have. I'm just going to add this sitting next to my work here. So I'm just let's clean up some stuffs. Let's comment this out. So we have 4 items, and then this is a bit biggish. Let's give it 200. Okay, so this is what we have, and for our parents, I'm going to give it a border of 3 pixel 2. We can see that the height of the parent is the same thing with the height of the item. So I'm going to increase the height on the parent to, let's give it 700 pixel. Oh, pixel. So you have 700 pixels. So we are still on flex items. Flex item is our focus today. So justify content work in such a way that it moves across, it moves from the left to the right. Okay, so it moves across the main axis of the it just move across the direction in which you have your flex. That's how it works. So from what we saw before, we know that the things I have here, I can move to the center and I can move to the right. Okay, still need to reduce this. Let's make it 100 and 100. Okay, I can move this to the center now. I can move this to the center. and then I can move this to what, to the end, flex end, like this. So this is justify content. Okay, what if I want to move this? So I can't bring any of those things down. So but with align items we are able to do that. Okay, so align items helps to move things on the cross sectional axis now, or vertically now, when the direction is on row, on horizontally. So the flex items that we have, we can set to center. The default is flex start. Can we see now? We have our items here, and we can set our items to, we can set our item to flex end, like this. So we have our align items now. Here now, our align items is end. So I can come here and change my flex on justify now. I can use those two to play around. Center. So we have this as center. And then if you want to perfectly center any items on your web page, you can use, you just have to make sure that it justifies content. The first thing is to make sure that you're using flex. Then make sure that the items that you have, you set the items to center, and then the align items also as well should be in the center. So align items is at the center here. So this with justify content centered, align items centered, then you can have your items perfectly in the center of your page. So, and the very important thing is you have to put height on the parent. So I have height on the flex container. So with the height set on the flex container, you can have your items well and properly centered. Okay, and then we can move this to the end as well. Flex end. Okay, so we can move it around. We can move this one, the align items, we can move it to the end as well. Flex end as well. So it moves down. So this is, so we've looked at 5 properties of flex. We've looked at justify content, flex direction, flex wrap, flex flow, align items. So the last but not the least that we are going to be looking at today is align content. Okay, so align content is also very important because, just going to bring this up now. Okay, this is per the page. Can see now. Okay, so it's just not working yet the way it should work. It's not working. So for align items, so what we are going to do is for our align items, you can see, is to, this is when you have so many items. So our align items also, you can set it to, by default it comes with flex start. So it will not work if we don't have our flex wrap properties set. So we have to set our flex wrap properties to wrap. So align content works with flex wrap. So what is saying now, so you can see now that it's at the center now because I just brought in our flex wrap. So with the flex wrap now, I have my align content working, so which is at the center. So we can come like this. Very interesting. So this is what we have now. Okay, and I want to make this to be bigger in a way. Yes, so this is what we have now. Okay, so and we can set this, the flex items, content to flex end as well. So this end now, you can see all the items are the end. They are the end. We can set it to center. It's at the center now. So I think that is all on that flex. Yes, I think that is all. Okay, all right. Then we also have some properties like space between. Yeah, space between works. You can see now space between. So this is where you have many items and you want to have good spaces between them. You can see very very nice space between. So we have space evenly. Also very nice. Then we have space around as well. So we have like a margin with the first element and the last element, and then you have equal spaces in between the items. Okay, so on this we have about 6 properties. Flex start, flex center. Flex start is default. Flex center, we have the center, we have the flex end, we have the space around, space between, space evenly. So these are properties that works with the flex container properties. Okay, so we've looked at all the 6 properties of flex container properties. Okay, so those are, I believe with what we've looked at now, very surely we are going to move into doing some projects, and the understanding that we've had so far will help us to we see the practical application in the project that we're going to be working on. Now, so the next thing we want to look at is we want to look at some flex student properties. So now what's the difference between the flex container properties and the flex student properties? Now, this is a parent. I'm going to collapse this. So the flex container that we are looking at here, what you are seeing now is a parent. Okay, because when you're working with HTML tag, you need to see things in a tree-like structure. You need to see how one element is connecting to another element, or how one element is nested in another element. So because that is how things are on the web. Okay, so you have to locate, try to find the root. So this is a container, this is a flex container. So on the flex container we have properties. The first thing is to have the flex container properties that I made mention of. You need to set the display to flex. That is non-negotiable. So first thing is set the display to flex, then you can now have the flex properties. Okay, so and the flex properties will be on the parent. So you can see that where I set the display to flex is also where I have my justify content, I have my flex directions, I have my flex wrap, I have my flex flow, I have my align items, I have my align content. Okay, so it will be on the parent like this. So the parent is a wrapper. So the children, so all these properties applies on the children. So you are not working directly with the children as you work directly with the parent. So it's just like whatever gets passed to the parents affects the children. Okay, it's just like when you expose the parent to something, it affects the children. So but what we are going to be looking at now are set of properties that affect the children. So we are moving away from the parents to the children now. So that's what we are going to be looking at now. So I'm going to comment this out, done your work, and I'm just going to comment this for now. So the flex properties that we are going to be looking at, we are going to look at order, flex basis, flex shrink, flex grow, flex and align self. So these are the properties that we are going to be looking at briefly. So the first thing is order. So as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3. So there are times on the web where you want, maybe on the mobile, for instance, okay, this is not responsive. Okay, let me leave the wrap. Let me leave the wrap. Again, okay. So there are times on the web that these two, you actually want it to be the number one, and probably want the number one to be on number three, or you want number three to be number one. So it happens. So with order, we can achieve that. And so since we are not moving, we are not starting with responsiveness yet. Or when we get to responsiveness, okay, I'll just bring in responsiveness now using media query briefly. So what we can do is to, so on the flex items now, so we are going to need another class because we are going to be working with individual child now. So the first styling is, the first class is to give a general class. It's like what pertains to all the children. You know, when a parent has children, there's going to be a surname that all the children bears, and also the children will have their specific names. So the items is just like it's just like a general properties that applies to all the children, which is what I have here, which is the items. And then the box now is now going to be their individual class now. So with their individual class, I can differentiate and I can give them their unique classes, their unique properties and values. So for the box one, so I'm going to set the order to be 3. Just write order as like that. Box 2, I'm going to set the order to 1. So I'm going to set box 3, I'm going to set the order to 2. So I want to believe that this is, so what we have, let me just do is a small write up here. So box 1, so order change to 3. Order change to 3. So we're going to be looking at, so this is working on the property, working on the child now. So order change to 1, 1, this is 2. So if we check it out now, oh wow. So we can see that, let me remove these properties. So we can see that, so now 1, order change to 2. So the first one is, the box 2 is 1. So you can see that order change to 1. So this is our box 2. So let me just put box 1, box 2, box 3, order change to box 3, order change to box 1, order change to box 3. So what do we have here now? We are seeing box 2, order change to box 1. Okay. So initially, what we have here is what? Box 2. You understand? So what we have initially is box 2. But because we have changed the order now, so what we have now is what we have. So this box 2 was in the middle. So but we have changed the order to 1. This is box 3. We've changed the order to 2. This is box 1. We've changed the order to 3. So with the order properties, we can change the order of our elements. Okay, so with the order properties, and you can do that directly on the children, by applying that properties to the children directly, and that is what we have done here. So I'm just going to leave this out like this. So the next thing we're going to look at is we're going to look at flex basis, flex shrink, and flex grow. So these three properties, flex basis, flex shrink, flex grow, it is summarized in flex. So that means the shorthand for both flex basis, flex shrink, flex growth is summarized in flex. So I'll just move directly to flex directly. Okay, so these are, so what we are going to do is I'm going to set the flex. So let me comment out just width and height. Oh, okay, let me leave the height alone. So this is what we have based on the content. So the content is width. This one we have. So this is what we have. Okay, so I'm thinking of, let's say we'll set this to 100%, which we can do. Okay, so which, I mean, this has defeated flex, so this cannot work. So the essence of using so what we are looking at is the flex basis, shrink, and flex. So the summary of these three properties, which I said the shorthand is flex, is with flex we can equally divide the width, share it among the items. So if I set the flex to 1 and set this flex to 1 and set this flex to 1, so what do we see now? We see that the items have equal width now. Okay, so I mean, I'm going to be using these properties at some point on our project. We'll be using these properties. So what do we have now? Need to put box. Okay, so yes, the reason why this is not reflecting is because we need to set the items as well to set the flex to be 1. So you have equal width equally. So but what if I want this box to be probably times 2? So we can as well put 2 here and see what we've gotten. So this is how it works. I think I've done something like putting 0.5 here before. So yeah, so this is what. So we can use the numbering here to change the width. Okay, with the numbering now we can begin to change. So like I said, these properties we are seeing is a shorthand for flex basis, flex grow, and flex shrink. Okay, all right. So the last but not the least that we're going to be looking at today is the align self. So that's the last properties. So I'm just going to comment this out. Okay, so let me just bring this in now. Okay, so for the align self is a flex items property. We can do align self to center. So you can see that the first items has moved to the center. Okay, or let me use the second item. The second item has moved to the center. So these are properties that works on individual items. I can as well say align items to be what? Flex end. Okay, so this move to the end. Okay, so these are properties that works on the items. Okay, so this is pretty simple, and then I believe that this lesson has given us this is an introduction to flex to understand flex. Okay, so from here now we are going to move into building this project that we have here. So we are going to be working on this project. So this is going to be our first project. Okay, so and yeah, so and also we are going to be looking at using media query to control to change the look. Okay, to make it start to change the direction of the flex on different screen size. So without wasting time, we are just going to move to building the first project. Okay, so I need to set up something now. Okay, all right. So this is what we are going to. I'm going to create a folder, call it project 1. All these projects you have access to it on my Git. So I'm just going to drop the link below. So the first project we're going to have index.html. We're going to have style.css. So I'm just going to clean this up, and let's have this here. Let's have this here, and then yeah, this is what I want to achieve here. So let's bring, okay, this one is going to be here. Okay. So I'm going to just close this. So I got inspiration for this work from UI Daily. So I'm just going to open to UI Daily Design. UI Daily Design. Load quickly. So let's come here and okay, so let's link up as CSS here. Style.css. So always check if your work is linked. Background color blue. Seems like blue now these days. Okay, alright, our work is properly linked. CSS style is properly linked. So like I said, I've done the projects, and yeah, just going to copy some things at some point. Yeah. Okay, so this is UI Daily. So I got inspiration for this project from here. So this is what we have, and then I think I'm going to be making reference to this. So this is a design. This is the work. So and yeah. So and this is what we are building. So I want to believe that, I mean, it's almost the same thing. I'm able to achieve the same thing. Yeah, so this is it. So the only thing that has changed is the picture. Yeah, the picture. So I got inspiration from this project from this website. So without wasting time, let's start. So I'm going to start from here. I need to have this by my side here. So I'm going to comment this out now. So first and foremost is I want to set target in root HTML, set the margin to 0 padding to 0, box sizing to border box. This is now, why am I using these three properties? The reason is because when we check our let's check ours. Okay, this is not, let's put a border. Three pixels, solid red. Okay, so this is what we have. Let me give you the height of 100 VH. So this is what we have. So we can see that we have some like imagine around the element, around the body, which is not supposed to be. We don't want to build something and have things like this. So the best what to do to combat that is to use this property. Margin is 0, padding is 0, box sizing, border box, so that we are using box sizing to border box that so that the width is always calculated within that HTML tag element that you are working on. Okay, so yeah, you can get more understanding online by just searching on box sizing, then it's to bring out more content for you. Okay, so yeah, so this is what I want. This is very important because most of the time you see a lot of HTML CSS projects, the root HTML is always targeted using the star, targets the root HTML. Okay, so right now, so I'm just going to comment this out. Okay, so this is what we want to build. Okay, and everything here are things that the images here I've gotten it online. I think it's from Splash, I guess. Yeah, I think I got the images from here. Yeah, trying to look for where I got the images from. I think I got the image from Splash. So images are there. So, but I want us to really focus on this project and get moving with this project. Okay, so the first thing is to do this. So since this is our finished project, so the first thing is to, I'm just going to divide this into different section. I think I have this image. If I don't, let's save this so that okay, so now, so I'm going to design the entire space. So we are going to have a container for this. We are going to have a container like this sitting in the middle of the page. Okay, so and then the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a nav bar like this, a small nav bar. Okay, using flex. So, and then we are going to have, this is going to be flex. So we are going to have a container, a parent container or a flex container that has 3 children basically. So on the parent is where we are going to set this first one, second one, and third one. Okay, so that means we are going to have a div. That div is going to have a flex container. In a flex container, we're going to have 3 children only, which is going to represent this, this, and this. So now after that, so we're going to have inside this individual now, inside each of the children. So we are going to have three images as well. So I'm going to have the first one, second one, and this. So for me, I've decided I use flex for this. So inside the parent, inside the child, so I'm having this just like a grandchild now. So I'm going to have a div that wraps these three images, and I'm setting it towards flex as well in order to have this, in order to achieve this. So this also is going to be flex, have a parent. Inside the parent, I'm going to have the people, and I'm going to have an icon and a number here. So I'm going to wrap everything in a div and then use justify content, use space between to be able to achieve this. So with this analogy is to show us that everything done on this page is done using flex box. Without wasting time, let's get right into the writing some code. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm just going to create a session. The reason why I'm creating a session is to help me, give a background color to the parents, because this is just what we have. Is I have another different color on the background. Yeah, so on the session we are going to have, I'm going to have container. Like I said, you can give it any name that you want. Container. So the container is to wrap everything. So inside so the container is meant to be this. So the container is meant to be this. This is a container. Okay, why the session is the entire page, the body. Okay, so I'm going to do something here now. So we have the container. So inside the container, I'm going to have the h1, which I call the popular collection. I'm going to have a div. The div is meant for the navs. For the nav links. So let's say we have, so for the nav links, we have the profile. So I'm just going to duplicate this. We have the New York. We have relaxing. We have person. We have fashion. Okay, so this is what we have. Okay, so I'm just going to start styling them now. So I'm going to use Lato. Let's use Google Fonts. Oh, let's say Google Fonts. Google Fonts like this. So it's time to have it exactly. At least we want to achieve something close. Though. Okay, while this is loading, let's just jump into write our project. So I'm going to, so let's work with the session now. So the session now is going to be session. So I'm going to have some margin on the left. Margin left is going to be 2 rems. 2 rems is 32 pixels. 1 rem is equals to 1 rem equals to 16 pixels. So 2 rem times 2. Oh, that is 16 pixel is equals to 32 pixel, which is 2 rem. So That is that. Then we have margin right, which is what 2 rem as well. Alright, so this is what we have. Let's just search for Lato. So I'm using Lato. I have some fonts selected before. Let's deselect all of them. So my Lato here, select this, select this, select this, select this, select this. Yeah, so there are two ways you can copy it as link, put it on the head section of your HTML, or use as import. So I prefer to use as import, just my personal preference. Imports, let's put it on top of our HTML. There's our HTML, this is our HTML here. Let's put it right here. Then the next thing is to copy the fonts family. So what I'm going to do here is to put this here. So let's bring this down. Yeah. So let's check our work. Yeah, so I think it's manageable like this. Okay, so the next thing I want us to do right now is to work on the anchor tag. So for the anchor tag, we're going to remove the text decoration, set it to none. We don't want any color. The color should be black, and then the background color, setting the background color to be white. We are giving it a padding, okay, 0.4 rem. That this padding, the first one means up and down, while 0.6 rem means left and right. Then we are giving it a border radius, that is 0.2 rem. And then we want the font size to be 14 pixels. Oh, sorry, this is margin right, and border radius is 6 pixels. So let's check what we have. So this is what we have. Okay, so, and then as for the container, this is a container, the divs, the wraps, everything. So let's go and do something about the container. Container, let's do that with style. I'm going to give the max width to, I need some space between those elements. Margin, both top and bottom 5 rems. I set it to auto to have it perfectly centered in the middle. Yeah, so I want it to be at the middle. So if I put a border here, let's say border to be 4 pixels solid red. So you can see now that we have it at the middle. Okay, so if I remove this 120 pixel, this is what we have. Don't forget that I think, yeah, so we have a padding left, we have a padding, and we have a margin left, margin right. So the space you are seeing here is a function of this and this. So if I comment it out, you can see it's touching the border. So when I bring this back, you can have this. Then also I'm still not comfortable, so I want to still have 120 pixels. So this is what we have going by 120 pixels. Okay, so what's the next thing we want to do is we want some padding. This is padding round, so TV rem, and we have a border radius. We want a border radius to be what? 20 pixel. So as you can see now, so gradually we are achieving this. Okay, so I'm going to give it a background color now. Let's give it a background color. Background color hash ff0 f1. So this is what we have. Yeah, so as we can see, you can see little changes now. Okay, so let's comment this out. We don't need it, so it's just for alignment. Okay, so what's the next thing we want to do is to, so this is, so we have the anchor tag. So I need some spaces between the popular collections and the navs. So what I'm going to do is to target the nav. So I'm just going to target this, bring this to just create that space dots. So I'm just going to give it margin top 1.5 rem. So yes, this is what I want. So I think we are getting there gradually. Okay, collections. Okay, collections. Yes, so I'm just going to collapse this. So that means inside our container now, I'm creating a div. So the next thing I want to do now is to clean this. So we want to focus on this area. This is what we want to focus on. So in order to achieve this, we need to create a div. So that's the first we are going to do. We are creating a div. Inside that div is going to have 3 children or 3 child. So you are going to have 1, 2, 3. So what we are going to do now is to create a div. So I'm just going to say pictures wrapper. You can call it any name that you want. Picture wrapper. So the first one I'm going to create is, let's have a box 1. I'm just going to do 1 and duplicate box 1. So inside that box 1 I'm going to have image. So I'm just going to copy the links of those image. So I'm just going to show us how to do this later. So when you go to your splash, I think I have something like this. So let's go to splash, let's go to laptop. Okay, so let's say for instance this is the image I want. So what I've done is to copy the link of those images. So I can click on here and copy image address. So if I come here and I put it, and that's what I've done, yeah, it brings it in. So rather than having to get to download images on my site, that is what I have done. Okay, just copy the image address. So we have the image, we can see it's very big. So what we are going to do is to set the image ing, so that we are going to use a lot of images here. So we are going to set the width to 100%. Height to 100%. We're going to give it a border radius 15 pixels. So this is what we have. Okay, yeah, so you just have it there. So the next thing we are going to be working on Now let me bring this bits down this side. Is so the next thing is, so as we can see, come on, so now, yeah, so I have this image like this. Don't let us forget that this is the first box. I'm going to have so many boxes beside it. So when I set the parent div, the picture wrapper to flex, so it will be able to accommodate other ones. We are going to see shortly. But here is what I want to do next now is to achieve this down. I need to set the display to flex. Okay, so I'm going to have another container and set the display to flex in order to have the images side by side. So how do we do that? So I'm going to create another container. This is a div. So just a div. I call it sub image. The code is going to be on in my Git, so we can have access to it in my Git. So I'm just going to put all of them inside. Yeah, sort of another div. So this is a div. So it's just a div wrapping this image. Oh, sorry. So I'm going to create another div. Just copy and bring this in. You can get access to those images on my. So this is what we have. Okay, so what we are going to do now is to, so I'm just going to collapse this, so you can see that this is a parent. Inside this parent, the sub image, we have what, how many children now? 1, 2, 3, which represent the sub images. So this is, so this sub image, the sub image. So the first thing I'm going to do is, let me just do the sub image. So the sub image is, need to check. So we have sub. So we are picking this. So let's see, dot box 1. So inside this one, oh okay, so we have this is, okay, so these are just children as well. So if I collapse this too, so I can pick the first div, and I'm picking the first of 1. So if I put a border now, let's put a border and let's see what I have there. We can see now. So let me just pick the name directly. Okay, because on my Git, this is what I use. So but it's same thing as saying you can pick this directly. You can just say sub image directly. So I think I made some adjustment to the code. So you can pick the sub image directly to still work. So let's say this display to flex, and then let's give it a gap of 1 rem. A gap of 1 rem. So we can see now. So this is what we have. I'm going to take this away. So this is what we have. So I need some padding padding, let's give it padding top of 0.5 rem, padding bottom to be 1 rem. Okay, so this is what we have. I think it's cool. Okay, so the next thing we want to do right now is to fix. So the next thing is to come to these people and this. So I'm using box icon. How do we get a box icon? You can use font awesome icon, box icon, whichever one that works for you. Box icon. So just come to the usage while it's still loading. So I'm going to create another div, and so like what we have here, people and this is going to be in a div. So we are going to do, so let's wrap this, let's collapse this. So it's going to be another div here. Okay, so I'm collapsing so that we don't get it mixed up. So let's have a p tag people. I'm going to create a span. I'm going to have 144. So let's bring in our box icon. So I'm just going to copy this using the CDN box icon. So I'm going to copy this. Let's just dump it here. So let's go back and get our font. I think you can pick any icon that you want. Just going to be showing us in a moment now. This is slow. We have folder. I wasn't able to get. Is it folder now? Let me just put out gallery. Nothing. Yeah, so I'm just going to pick this. Okay, so let's pick this. So let's come back. So I'm putting it in a span. So this particular div, I'm going to target it. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is to do dot box one div and two. So you can see that what I'm doing here is I'm saying this is the class. Inside the class we have the image, we have this. Okay, so we have this and we have this. So I'm targeting second div, and this is what I'm going to. The link to the code is going to be in the description below. So display to flex, and we have justify content towards space between. So what we have is this. So the box one has 3 children, which is this one, and this one. So what I've done is this is the image, these two are inside the div. This is div 1, div 2. So going back to our code, what we have is this is the box 1. Okay, you can see that we have the box 1. So we have the image. This is the div. that has the 3 image set. This is another one, the people and all of that. So we can see that this box 1 only has how many now? 1, 2, 3. Very important to take note of this. So you can see now, so this is what we have. I believe our work is set now. So what we need to do now is to duplicate. So in duplicating, don't let us forget that this picture wrapper, the picture wrapper is meant to wrap these 3 galleries. Okay, so that's what it's meant to do. So the picture wrapper, we are going to have box 1, box 1, box 1, box 1, box 2, box 3. So I'm going to duplicate this since I've done one. So since it's going to be the same thing, so duplicate, and just change the content. So what we are going to do now is to, so I'm just going to copy this. So let's find this box ends here. So I'm going to, yeah. So this is what we have. So let me check our work. This is what we have. So that means we are going to come to our picture wrapper now. Picture wrapper. Let's put it here. Picture wrapper. So the display will be what? Flex. Picture wrapper display is flex. So if we check now, what do we see? So this is what we have. Okay, so let's give it some gap. Picture wrapper gap. 2 rems. And then padding. We need some padding on top. Touching the knobs. So this is what we have. So this is what we have. So this is what we have. It doesn't really look so good compared to this. This is our finished prep. So I don't like the way it's looking. So what do we do is to, I'm going to target those image. So what I'm going to do is to target the image. Let's target the image. I think I have done that already. Okay, so I'm going to move to the box now. This box. So let me try and collapse. Since we have the same style that applies to all of them. So we are moving to the first box. Where is box 1? Oh my goodness. Okay, so you can start the box 1 now. Dot box 1. So let's give it a border here. 3 solid red. Okay, so we can begin to work on the box now. So box 1. So on the box 1, we are going to have the width to be 100%. The width is 100% on box 1. Height is going to be 100% on box 1. So I just want the height to be 100 and the width. So let's give it a padding of 1.2 rands. Yes. Okay, so setting it to 100 now has given me what I want. So the padding is what I want. So let's give it a background color. background color to be what? To be white. Yes, so I can remove this red, helps with demarcation. So we need border radius to be 6 pixels. We have margin right to what? 0.2 rems. Oh, I'm writing rubbish. That. Oh, border radius is 20. It's not, it's 20. 20 pixels. Border radius is 20. Padding 1.2. Height. Yeah, so this is pretty what we have. This is what we've done so far. This is original work. This is what we have done so far. And then I'm just going to change the images now. So this is people, nature, technology. So let's do that quickly. Just want to open that. So this is technology. So I'm just let's open up this last one and let's change the image. So I'll just copy the entire image. But don't waste time on this. So let's go with this. Just going to copy this. Like I said, the entire work is on Git, so they can have access to it. Just to replace the images. So let's check our work. Yes, so this is what we have now, technology and all of that. So the next thing we are going to work on is this. So number 2. This is 1, 2. So let's copy the image. They are all online, so I get the images on my Git. Yes, so we're moving on nature. So I'm just going to copy this guy. So the next thing we are going to be working on is on the responsiveness of the work. Let's copy this guy. Yes, so we are okay now, and yeah, you can always check on my Git. Just drop the link below. So this is what we have. Okay, I want to believe that it's not different from, it's not too far from where's the original work. Yeah, so this is the original work, and this is what we've been able to achieve thus far. Okay, so the next thing we want to do now is to work on the responsiveness of this work. As you can see, this is not good. Okay, so in order to make it responsive, which is, I'm just going to come here, let me just collapse this, collapse this, collapse this. So the responsiveness now is to target. So I'm going to do at media max width of 990 pixels. So now I'm targeting this picture wrapper. So what I want to do is that at this screen size, I want, let's put a border here, 3 pixels solid red. So you're going to see a red border now. This is a red border. So what we are working on is that we are changing the direction. This is flex. By default, flex is horizontal. You know, the items comes side by side with each other. So I want to change the direction to be color. So what I'm going to do is to change the flex direction here, column. So this is what we have. Okay, as you see now, the direction, we have changed the direction, which is better now, but still not perfect, still not the best. You can see that the the nav the nav links is not the way I want it to be. It's not still looking so good for me. So what I'm going to do next is to, this on mobile. On mobile is still not looking good. So let's come at media max width. We have 550 pixel. So I'm going to target the nav links, the display now for those nav links. I wasn't using anything before, it's flex. So I'm using flex wrap now. Okay, flex wrap to be wrap. Wow. Flex wrap to be wrap, and gap to be 0.5 rem 5. So you can see the nav links. There's the adjustment on the nav links now. So but let's cover up this space. This is too much. So I'm going to do dot container. The container is the entire work. This is the container. So I'm going to put padding. The padding was 3 rems. This is the container. So the padding on the container is 3 rems. So I'm changing it to what? 1.5 rem now. So yeah, so you can see there's a little adjustment now with the padding. So I still want this to adjust a bit. So I'm going to change the box 1 padding to be what? 0.8 rem. So let's see. Yeah, so I think it's okay like this. I think it's okay like this. Yeah, I think it's okay like this. Yeah, so here is the work, and you can check it out online. Let's check it out on my Gits and take a look at the code, and then I want to believe that we've learned a lot in this project. So yeah, without wasting time, we'll move to the second project. We're just going to close this. Let's move to the second project. So this is going to be our second project, and so for this project, I'm just going to open it. Yeah, I think I have this. this second project. Okay, here is it. Okay, so for this second project, still the same thing. So what we are going to be doing is to use flex. So I'm going to be using flexbox for this to achieve this. Okay, why I use the max width to center this perfectly at the center. And yeah, this is a finished project here. And so we are going to be building this from scratch. We're going to be showing us step by step. So this is what we have, and then pretty responsive. Okay, so let's dive into our code. I'm going to adjust this now. So the link for this code is going to be in the description below, so we can get it. Git, let's close it. So creating a project, no, it's going to be outside. Yeah, I call this one project 2. So we are going to have our index here, HTML. So we're going to have our styles.css. So I'm just going to open this here. Let's close this. So let's close this one here. Let's close this one here. So this one is going to be here. Alright, so let's have this. So for the project 2, alright, so okay, so let's link up our CSS. Let's just link up our styles.css. Alright, so the next thing we want to do is what customer says. Okay, so end of what customer says. Okay, so this is what we are working on. I have to get rid of this. Okay, so this is what we are going to be working on now. This is what we're going to be working on. Let's bring it here close. This is what we are working on. So what's our customer? So definitely I'm going to have like a wrapper that I can set a background color. Then this is going to be in another container. So I'm going to have a whole of this inside another container as well. Okay, so let's get going. So what we have here is to create a container. Have a container. So I'm going to have a sub container. The sub container is to be a wrapper. This major container is the parent container where I'm going to set the background. A light teal, that's where I'm going to set the background. So h3 is what our customer says. So this is what we are going to have. So I'm going to have another div, another main. I'll just call it a main. So I'm going to have this there. So this main is going to have these three guys here. So yeah, so let's give it our roots. We have our margin 0, padding is 0, box sizing is border box. So this is what we have. photos. I'm going to using a font. Just clean this guys up. Open Sun. So this is Open Sun. This is kind of font I'm going to be using. So I'm just going to select this, select this, select this, select this, select this. So this is what I'm going to select this as well. So I'm going to use my imports. Yeah, so I love to have it on my CSS here, but you can have it on your HTML as well. It's preference. So let's have it here. Let's have it here. So we are going to have our body. I want this style to apply to all the pages. Font size. Yeah, so that settles. So let's get to the work. So I'm going to open this inside the browser using our live server. So this is what we have. This is what we have currently. And yeah, so I want to have this beside it. So I'm going to just design this first box. So let's go to the first box. So you're going to have div box 1. So inside the main, I'm having a div box 1. So what I want to do here is these two guys, they are going to be in a div, in which I'm going to use a justify. I'm setting the two. There's going to be in a div, and then the display is going to be flex. Justify content is going to be space between. That is what I'm going to do for these two Twitter stuff here. So these two, I'm also wrapping it in a div. So it's just like you're having a nested div, in which the first parent is going to be setting the display to flex, then the child too. This image and this other two, I meant this two also is going to be in a div that will set the display flex. So I'm going to have, this is going to set, I have a div, set the display to flex. Then I'm also going to have this also inside. So this is a nested div. So you have the first div, set the display to flex, then having another div again, the child, setting the child to display flex. So that's what I intend to do here. So we are going to have box 1, we just call it Sarah 1, Sarah 1. Inside Sarah 1, I'm going to have Sarah main. Okay, so it's just like a nested. So the nested is going to have this image tag. Let's go and get the image tag. So let's go and get this image tag. So we can always get this online, guys. So this is what we have. So this is this div. Okay, so and then we have another div. We have h5, which is Sarah main. P, which is going to be what? At Sarah main. Now let's go. So I have a parent, which is box. Inside the box, I'm having Sarah. So the serial 1 is meant to be, okay, let me finish this. So we have this, so this is the serial 1. So coming out of this now, we're going to have a Twitter icon. My goodness, let's go. I just copy the box icon that I had before. So let's just copy the box icon, previous one. So let's put it here. So let's look for Twitter. This is Twitter. So this is Twitter. Okay. So let's bring our Twitter here. So let's put it here. So this is Twitter. Now, so what we have here is this. Could be confusing. This is this. Okay. So what I'm going to do is let me just set the image. So the image we have here, I'm going to target it. So let's have the image img. Width is 40 pixel. Height is 40 pixel. Border radius need to be circle 50%. Object fit to be cover. So let's get, so this is what I have. So now this is the image, the Twitter. So what I'm going to do is to, in order to demarcate, I'm going to set this serial 1. So let's get serial 1. So let's get serial 1. Is it serial 1? Yeah. Oh, serial box. Let's get serial box. So that's serial. Let me just give it a border of 3 pixels and see what we have. This border really helps a lot. Yes. So I can set the display now. So let's set the display to flex. So the stress is always in the first design. So display is flex. Justify content. So it's going to be space between. So I need that Twitter. So this is Twitter. So this is Twitter that has to be pushed. This is Twitter. So this one, now let's push back. Not supposed to be having that behavior. So let's go to this serial main. Yes. So the problem now is these are supposed to be in the same div. Okay, so what I'm getting here is that this is supposed to be in the same div with this. So what is going to happen is this one, call it like this. This serial main is going to be here. So let's go. So we have serial box. Display to what? Flex. align items to what? Center. Y gap is what? 0.6 rem. Yeah, so this is what we want to. Okay. Yeah, even the display to flex. This is this. No, main, not box. Yes, so this is what we want to achieve. Okay, so let me just style the icon very fast. The icon, Sarah box icon, font size is 20 pixels. Just choose to color arch 1 DA 1 F2. Let's check what we have. So this is what we have currently, and yeah, I think we're making progress now. This setup box align. That work is not align center. So let's take this away for now. Alright, so this is what we have. I'm just going to go to the box 1. These are box 1. Let me just bring it together a bit. Box 1. Let's need to have a padding of 1 rem here. You know, let's give it a border and let's see what we are working on. So we give it a border. Okay, so we can see the padding there. Then what else? Border radius. Border radius is 6 pixels. Height is 100 pixels, 100%. Okay, so I'm just going to give it flex 1. This one I'm giving flex 1 is to have, I want the same width for the 3 elements. Then let's give it a background color of white, same width. Alright, so this is what we have. So before we start duplicating, let me just work on the environment, what our customer sees. So let's give this a background color, which is our container. Dot container background color will be RGBA 226 248 248. So this is what we have. Okay, so this container, this sub container, I need it to be in the center. I want something like this. So which means that I'm going to have dot sub container max width is 1064 pixel. Margin to be auto. I need it to be at the center. Padding top 2.5 rem. Padding padding right, sorry, writing. Padding right is 2 rem. Padding bottom is 2 rem. Padding top, padding right, padding left is 2 rem. Just spread everything out like this. Okay, so this is what we have. And yeah, I think the H1 is a bit bigger, so let's go with H1. H3, sorry, H3 is a bit bigger. The font size should be 2 rem. I need some padding at the bottom, padding bottom, padding bottom. The padding bottom is going to be 2 rem as well. Yeah, so this is what we need. And yeah, so let's finish working on this. So the next thing we want to do is, I'm just going to collapse some things here. Okay, so what we are working on next is this. Okay, so we are working next on this side. Then this one is going to be a div that wraps these two. So what we are going to do now is it's going to be directly under this. After the div, we are going to have a p tag. So the p tag is to just copy this guy. After that, we are going to have a div. Just comment. Inside that div, we are going to have a p tag. So we are going to have I dot px dot bs. This is a box cycle 2. So this is going to represent that 2. So the love is the box cycle. So the next one is going to be the p March 2, 2021. So let's check what we have. So this is what we have. So I'm setting this to flex. So that's what I want to do now. Setting it to flex. So I'm just going to close this for now. Let me see. Dot comment display to flex. So let's do justify content to space between. So can you see now this is what we have. So just to work on individual stuff now. So I'm setting this one to flex as well. So I'm going to say dot comment p. Yeah, dot comment p. Display to flex. Align items to center. Color is going to be RGB. I'm just going to change the properties of this. 116. 05. So this icon now is going to what I'm going to target now. Copy those so color is going to be red, font size is going to be 24 pixels. Yes. Wow. So it's going to be span. This is meant to be span. Yeah. Dot icon. Oh, it's inside. It's inside. So this is what we have. This is what we have. And so let me just put a color here. You can see the color. So, and this one is just black. See what I mean? Div this. Pick up this color. So okay, I need to get this. I just tried P. This is box. So the direct chart is this, not the direct chart. So let's get box. Once we are done with one styling, that's what we are going to apply for the rest. That's why I'm taking my time to the same color here. Same styling that we are going to use for all of them. Line height 1.5 is the standard. Font size 16%. Padding on top 1 rem. Padding on bottom 1 rem. I'm going to have to do some things about the width. The width is 88%. Alright, so I'm going to duplicate now, and so we have box 1. So let's duplicate 1, 2. Now start changing stuff. So this is what we have. So we want it to be side by side. And how do we do that? Side by side is to go on our main. Main. On our main. Display to flex and gap of 1 rem. So this is what we have. So I need to remove this border. So this is what we have currently. So I'm going to begin to change the content of this. So let me change the content. Let's change the contents of this one. I'm going to call it 2. So second boss, end of. So uh, so for the second boss, just going to have this, just to replace some things here. I'm going to replace some stuffs. Then I think this is all, and the p tag. For the p tag, let's get his own. Let's put it here. Yeah, so we should have more content now. So this is what we have. So meaning that we are going to have another box 2 dot box 2 for box 2. We have the same thing. One rem. So you can have this like this. Yeah. Yeah, so this is what we have. Instead of repeating ourselves, and then box 2. Then I need to get on, we need to work on the p tag. Need to get on the p tag, box 2 p tag. Just going to come up here. Box 2 p tag. This is going to be 95%. So let's check it out. So this is what we have. So this is the last but not the least. So you just get the content as well. Jessica. Oh, also have to change the image as well. Oh. So I'm just getting the content here and then replacing it. So image. So this is bus 3. I'm going to put bus 3 here. So I'm going to change the image as well for this. So I think we are done with this page. Okay, so here is what we have. So this one is going to be bus. So this is what we have. Then let's work on the p tag dot post. P tag. Very straightforward. So this is pretty much it. Okay, so this is what we have. This is what we have right now, and yeah. So the next thing we want to do now is to design this page. Let's try and design this page. I don't think this should take time. So let's design this page down. Comments. So we are going to be doing this. One simple price. One simple price. So let's go with the pricing session. Pricing session. End of. All right. End of pricing session. So we are going to have a wrapper. Inside the wrapper, we're going to have h1. So this h1, let's give it a class of plan because of our styling. One simple price plan. So we have our p dot price plan as well. Start growing your Twitter accounts by analyzing your followers passion. Alright, so let's check what we have. So I need to bring this to the center, and yeah. So how do we do that? Okay. let's get it to the center. So to bring this to the center, dot wrapper, I need a wrapper now. I'm picking the wrapper to be 5 rem up and down, top and bottom. Okay, yeah. Then dot wrapper. Just need some margin. So I'm picking one single price plan, which is our name. So let's say test align center, the width. This will be 45%. Margin, which is auto. This is what is going to help me to center it. Color. Just going to copy this. So let's check what we have. So this is what we have. So I'm bringing this Twitter down as well. Let's come with the Twitter dot price plan test align center width 45%. Margin as well is auto. So that is wrapper dot plan. I don't know how to write all this. No, there's not any of this. So let's check. So this is what we have. Okay, so what do we have? This is it. So we need this to come down. Alright. Okay, I think we are good now. So let's design this card. So to design this card, I'm just going to call this to be card. So we are going to have monthly P. So we are going to have a P tag. I'm going to have a span as a class of pricing. So this is what we are designing. So this is what we want to design, pricing, and $9. So I have to style that one differently. So I'm going to have a div called line. So it's to create these lines, these two lines. And then the next one is going to be dot checked text. Dot check text. So dot bs dot bs bxx dot bsx checked. This is box icon. This is box icon. I'm going to have a span. Unlimited 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 . 7 schedule, unlimited schedule, scheduled tweets, and threads. So this one I'm just going to duplicate. Boss icon is not showing. Why is it not showing? BX. Okay, I don't need to have X. Check. Cycle. Yeah. So let's duplicate this. We're having it in 3 places. 1, 2, 3. This one is going to be schedule up to 3 weeks in advance. Then I'm picking this one as well. Real time audience analytics tracking up to 5K followers. So is what is left is going to be this. So just create it. So I'm going to come out of this dot line for those line. Then I'm going to create another div, just button. bx.ps box icon .twitter. So creating a span. Span is start trial with Twitter. So this is what we have. So the first thing is to bring this content to the middle. So in order to achieve that, I'm going to pick on this card. This is a card, this is a wrapper for the entire thing. So I'm going to have dot card. So we are going to have a background color RGB 255 244 255 244 246 229. So this is what we're going to have. Let's check it out. So this is what we have. So we need some padding. Padding is 1.5 rem around. The width, which I need it to be at the center, 400 pixel. The margin, which is 2 rem. Auto, that is on the left, on the right, sorry, and clockwise. Auto is 0. So border is 1 px solid orange. So border radius 6 pixels. Color, just going to bring in this. So what I've done is the margin is to centralize. This is top 2 rem, auto right is 0 down, auto right, left. So this is what we have. So I need some spacing. Let's space this thing out. Let's space it out. So the next thing is going to be dot line height is 1 pixel, width is 100%, background color. The background color is going to be RGBA 199 195 195. That's all. So you're looking at this check test dot check test, that line, check test, padding both up and down, 5 rem, 0, display. We are doing display to flex because of that icon. Align items center, and then we need some cap, which should be what, 0.5. Okay, so here is what we have. So we come to this guy. We need to come to this guy. So I'm going to pick up on this guy. So so this is on the color, RGBA 85, 202, 85, 202, 85, 85. So what's the next thing is, let's give it a font size 18 pixels. Dot check test one. Font size is 14 pixels. Dot card. This is what we have. So I've changed. So I'm picking the card now. Dot card. Dot pricing. Font size is 2.5 rem. So we are picking this now. This $9 is what they're working on now. So the font width is 700. Color is black. So what's the next thing that we are supposed to pick up? So we need some spaces. So even though, yeah, color here is a bit okay. So let's pick on the button. This is the button that we are working on now. On the button, the border is on first. Let's make sure the border is now. Display. is flex. So the essence of displaying to flex is to be able to justify content to center. So justify content to center, and then align items center as well. Okay, so this is it. So inside this we now have these two. So give it a gap of margin top is 1 the width is 100%, padding is on padding, that's 12 pixels, so color is white, the border radius 6 pixel, background color 1DA 1F2. So here is what we have, and so we have it centralized now. So I'm going to adjust the Twitter button. Let's adjust the Twitter button a bit. Font size is going to be 20 pixels. Yeah, I think it's bigger now. So I think that is pretty much. Can still work more. That is all on that. Yeah. So what we want to do now is to make it responsive. Like the goal now is to make sure that this work is responsive, and so this work is not responsive. So we can make it responsive by changing the direction of the main. So to make it responsive is to change the direction of the main. The main that we have here, this. So you have to change the direction of the main. So let's come here and do at media max width 768 pixel. So we are going to change the direction of the main. We have the flex direction to be what? Color. So when we come here, you can see that the flex direction has changed. No, so we have the flex direction change to column, and so yeah, let's check the iPhone. So it looks good, and I want some padding here, and then adjust this. So I'm going to do for the pricing price plan, the width should be 70 now. Then text align centered. So this is what we have. Okay, this for this. I'm even make it 75 depending on what you want. Yeah, 75 is okay. So I'm going to pick on the card now. So to touch on the card, just do dot card, give it a width of 90%, padding left 5 rem. I don't think we need this anymore. So this is what we have, and yeah, so that is pretty much on this second project, and yeah, so this was the original project that we had, and this is what we have. I believe we understand the concept of flex. We've been able to use flex to achieve this, and that is very responsive web design. Work on different screens device. iPad here, iPad mini, Pixel 5, Galaxy. Okay, so the last project we are going to be working on today is going to be this. Just going to open it and show us. Last project for today. So here. So this is what we are going to be building as our last project, and this project is very, we are going to learn a lot about flex. We are going to learn a lot about the flex. We are going to use the nav, understanding out. We are going to use flex for this nav navigation. Then we are going to use flex for this to perfectly center this. Then we are going to be using flex for this as well. So on mobile, what we are going to do is to change the flex direction. So without wasting time, let's get into the business. This is a completed project here. This is how it's going to look. This is completed project. So this is a completed project. Okay, so let's get right into the business. All right. So I think I got inspired. I got the project from here as well. Okay. So I'm just going to come here. I have all the code on my Git, so you can clone and take a look at the code. So creating another folder. So I'm going to call it project 3. So I'm going to have index.html, styles.css. So let's come here, and this one should be here. I'm gonna close this. So let's start from here. So let's link our CSS to make sure that everything is working perfectly. Link. So I'm just going to close all this. Let's make sure that this is what we are working on, and the CSS. So let's give it a background. Oh, sorry. Body. Let's give it. Where do I like it like this? So use our live server to check. Yeah, so we have it up and running right here. So I'm going to have it open here. So I'm going to start with the nav. So we are going to start working with the nav. Yeah. So you are picking on this nav first, and also the nav and the button, the login and the sign up. So what we are going to do first is to let's have a session. So inside that session, we're going to have a nav. So I'm going to have a logo. So logo. So now one of the things we are going to do is I'm using Flex to build this, and in order to have this, everything here is going to be in its own div. So I'm going to have the home, the article, the price, the about, the contact in a div. Then the two button here is going to be in a div. So that means I'm going to have a parent that's going to have just 3 children, but the first one is going to have just logo. The first child is going to be a logo, while this second child is going to have contain home, article, price, about, and contact, and this last child is going to have login and start or sign up. So that is how we're going to do. So this is going to have a div. I'm going to have a div, and inside that div I'm going to have this. I'm going to have this. So we're going to have this, this, and this. So we are going to have articles, pricing, about, contact. So let's clean up this. So you can see I'm going to have another div where I'm going to have this login, sign up. So this is what we are going to have. We need to take away this. So this is what we have. Okay, so I need to have them on a straight line. So the first thing we are going to do is to do this. Margin, padding, work size is border plus. Then that is that. So I'm just going to take the fonts I used here, which is Lato. Just going to bring it here. Okay, so we have that settled now. So this is what we have. So we are going to set the nav. Let's set the nav. I need you to give me max width of 2040. Margin to be at the center. I need it to be at the center. This is not applying. Okay. So next thing is to display flex, justify content, space between. Yeah. Let's close this over. Padding left. The padding left is going to be 2 rems. Padding right is going to be 2 rem as well. So this is all we have. And for the session, I need a background color. This has a background color of F7, F7, F7. So this is it. So you're going to need a padding. You need a padding. You need a padding so you can see the color. You need a padding. You need a padding here. Up and down 0.1.4. Yeah, I think this is cool. So let's create some space and so let's target the anchor tag, text decoration, text decoration is none, text decoration is none. So let's pick I'm going to pick on the nav link. Let me say class nav links. Thanks. Nav links. So the nav links I want to get the nav link, this specific nav link. So write 1 rem Margin left. Alright. Color 0. Let's make this 1.5. 1.5. Yeah, this is what we have. So I'm going to create some space here as well. So we are going to select that last child. So this is what we want to select now. This is our goal now. Dot nav div last child. This is what we are selecting. Anchor tag first child. First child. First child. Background color F. This is F. O. E. H. F1 4 2 0 3 E. Yeah. Nothing is being selected here. So we have nav. This is the nav. Nav the first chart. So right now the nav is not a class. The nav is not a class. So margin. So I'm selecting the first chart. 1 padding up and down 10, 15, left and right. Background color 1 4 2 3 E. Last chart is the first chart. F E 2 C 9. Is the color select both. Border radius is 6 pixels and font size is 14 pixels. Okay, so we can we can move now. So we are going to be working on this hero section now. Hero section. Yeah, that's the next thing we're going to focus on. So for the hero section, we have the session. Hero session, so we have a div happening in a div h1. Another way to build websites. So peace, empower designers to build professional custom websites in a completely visual canvas. With no codes. So this is what we want to do. So the next thing is a div. The next is a div. Trial button. Anchor tag. Start free trial. Yeah, so I need to bring this to the middle and centralize it. So how to do that now is going to be, so let's get dot hero wrapper. The height is going to be 500 pixels. The display is going to be flex, backgrounds, color. This is going to be F6, F0, E8. So I'm bringing this to the middle. I have to bring it like this. So in order to achieve that, so we need to do so I've said, so I have justify content to center, align items to center. So this is what we have at the center now. All I need to do is to wrap it in a div and then center the content. So the next thing is to work on them individually. So we're going to have dot hero h1. Because the font size is 4 C4 So then we have the margin to be auto. The margin will be auto. Then center. So let's check what we have. So this is what we have. So we're going to work on this also. Dot 0 dot p. Padding is top and bottom is 1 rem. 50%. Margin is auto. Test align is center. Font size is 18 pixels. So the next is to bring this button, start dryer. So let's bring it button. So we are bringing in the button. So we have dot dryer. Dryer button. Padding will be 15 pixels. 20 on the left and right. Display is flex. Justify content to be center. So I'm selecting the anchor tag itself. Dot dryer button. Padding is 15 pixels. I don't have to write this again. Border radius 10 pixels. Color so let's put this and put it here. Yeah. So this is what we have. So we are done with this. So work on this now. To get on that, so you just swap it in a div. Container, heading, dot lines. This line is what we want to create. Then we are going to have we share our thoughts on design. Another line. So leaving that div now. So this is going to be this one. you're going to set it to flex. So you are going to have a div called cards. Inside you are going to have cards, image. Let me get the image. I'm just going to copy the image. So we have image. After the image, we are going to have a P, which is designing my sites, increased sales over 100% in a week. Yes. So what's next? And then we have P as well. July 1, 2022. So I'm just going to duplicate this. 2, 3. So I'm going to have it in 4 places. So this one is going to be design and solve. What engineers really want to see. A comprehensive list of human computer interactions. Why do people it's redesign? Alright, so this is what we have. I'm going to pick up on the images. So let's start with, let's put the images. Let's see the price. So but the first thing is the heading. The heading like this, we want to design this place. Let's design it. So how do we do that? Dot line. Height is 1 pixel. Width is 25%. Background color. Heading itself. Display is flex. And line items is center. Justify content. Justify content and padding is 1.4 rel. dot heading p and child. So padding is 0 to 2. Now, so this is what we are selecting. We are selecting this. This is second child that we are selecting. This is what we are selecting here. So we check. So this is what we have. Okay. And let me give the border radius. Yeah. So it's not working. So we have dot heading p end of type. So this is 2. And why is it not picking it? It's not picking because we only have 1. It has picked it now. So we'll work on this now quickly. So we are going to have a card. It's going to be dot cards. It's going to be cards. So display. It's going to be flex. Gap is 2 rem. Margin bottom is 5 rem. So this is what we have. So I need some spaces in between. So I don't know. Have a container here. I'm not start the container. Let's go. Dot container. Sorry, the max width. Setting the entire container now. The margin is 0, auto, 50 pixel, auto, padding left, serial, padding right, serial. It's overflowing. Why you overflowing? Something is wrong. So padding left, serial, auto 50. Why you now overflowing? We need to find out. Going to change it back. Need to know why it is overflowing. This is bottom left. So this is what we have. So we need max width. We need to include max width. We need to put max width. Okay, let's continue. So after the image that we have now, after the image that we have, next time, so we are having the first P. $700. Font size 14 pixel, color 3A, A3. This is what we are going to have. Yeah. So why is this page overflow? We have a container. So this is what we have. It's very unusual. Yeah, we have a max width. We have is this up? This is what you are going to have. This is even red. Okay, so let's have this like this. is flowing. So we are going to comment this. Let's comment this out. Something is affecting the flow. So this is what we have, and let's check the explosiveness. So I'm just going to change the image. Take this. I'm going to take this, put it here. I'm going to take this. I'm going to put it here. And then finally I'm going to take this. And put it here. So the card is a parent that wraps the different cards. So this parent is set to what? Div. I set it to flex. So that is how it works. Alright, so I'm going to do something else now. So we have to look at mobile. Check the mobile. So let's make this 99. Dot cards. So we are changing the card direction to column. And line items will center. Justify content to be centered. Dot cards. Which is 80%. Height is 80%. So dot card image height is auto. So let's go. Let's go with this page. So I need to check these cards. Something is no. Let's check these cards. Solid red. So this is what we have. So let's check this card. Flex. Third image. Third influence. Lines. So let's comment this. So I'm going to, our card is here. So this is what we have. So need to do IMG, which is 100%, height is 100%. So everything works perfect now. So you have to set image directly if you are not going to have problem. Set image directly. So let's work on the nerves now. For the nerves, at media max with marvelous display is now. So the hero wrapper, each one we are going to reduce it a big text, font size 2.5 and the width 80%. Dot hero p width is 70%. This is what we have. So we are going to target the class of card. Dot card. The width is going to be 95. 95%. So this is what we have for the third project. Let's open it again. So this is our third project, which is very responsive, and so I want to believe that we've been able to learn a lot about Flexbox and how to use Flex to build simple web pages, and Flex is extremely important. It's extremely important to understand Flex. It's going to make positioning element on the web page very easy. So I want you guys to like, subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much, and I'll drop the link to the GitHub repo for the code. Thank you. Bye.